Dear ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the greatest war you'll ever fight is not out there in the world, but right here between your ears? Every day, a silent battle is being fought not with bullets or bombs, but with thoughts, beliefs, fears, and lies. Your mind is the battlefield, and if you don't take control of it, it will take control of you. You see, many of us are walking around defeated, not because life hit us too hard, but because we surrendered too soon in our thinking. The enemy didn't destroy us with force, he poisoned us with doubt. He didn't have to chain our hands, he just had to convince our minds we were already bound. Let me remind you, the voices you listen to shape the life you live. You can't have a victorious life with a defeated mindset. The battlefield isn't your circumstances, it's how you interpret them. It's not what's happening to you, it's what you're telling yourself about what's happening to you. Fire 10 key points of the speech. 1. Your thoughts determine your direction. What you continually think about, you eventually move toward. If your thoughts are full of fear, you'll move in fear. If your thoughts are anchored in faith, you'll move in strength. 2. Not every thought deserves a seat at your table. You can't stop thoughts from knocking on the door, but you decide which ones come in, sit down and stay for dinner. Some thoughts are squatters, they live rent-free and destroy everything. 3. Your internal dialogue becomes your external destiny. The way you talk to yourself matters. You may not say it out loud, but if your mind is filled with negativity, self-doubt or shame, you're building your future on broken beliefs. 4. You have the authority to reject the lie. Every lie the enemy tells you're not enough, you'll never change, it's too late, can be cancelled with truth. But you've got to stop agreeing with the lie before it becomes your identity. 5. Peace is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of discipline in your thoughts. When you train your mind to be still in the middle of the storm, that's when you truly win. Peace doesn't mean the battle's over, it means you've learned how to fight differently. 6. Renewing your mind is a daily decision, not a one-time fix. You can't visit the gym once and expect lifelong results. You must rewire your thinking daily through intention, repetition, and truth. 7. Victories begin in private in your mind. You may win applause in public, but every real win starts in silence when no one's watching and you choose to believe anyway. That's the true battlefield, what happens in the dark before the light. 8. Your mindset is your strategy. You don't need more talent, you need the right thinking. When you shift from why me to what can this teach me, the battlefield becomes your training ground. 9. Don't fight thoughts with feelings, fight them with facts. When fear says you're finished, you respond, I'm just getting started. When doubt whispers you'll fail, you speak the truth, I'm built for this. 10. You are not your thoughts, you are the one who decides what stays. Don't let one dark thought define your life. You have power, choice, and purpose. You were created with the authority to win this war. What you continually think about, you eventually move toward. Your life is always heading in the direction of your strongest thoughts. If you constantly rehearse fear, you'll live cautiously. If you replay old mistakes, you'll keep walking backward. But if you meditate on truth, hope, and strength, your life will start to rise to that level. Thoughts are not harmless. They are not background noise. They are blueprints. Every decision you make, every word you speak, every habit you form, it all begins with a seed planted in the soil of your mind. And here's the thing, your mind doesn't care whether the seed is truth or a lie. It will grow whatever you feed it. If you keep feeding it discouragement, you'll reap despair. If you water it with bitterness, you'll harvest resentment. But if you nourish it with the right thoughts rooted in purpose, identity, and calling, your whole life will begin to shift. Your thoughts are like a steering wheel, not just a mirror. They don't just reflect where you are, they direct where you're going. You could be standing in a mess, but if your mind is full of vision, you'll walk toward a miracle. You could be surrounded by chaos, but if your thoughts are filled with peace, you'll navigate it with grace. You could be doubted by people, but if your mind is set on who you are, you'll rise anyway. That's why it's dangerous to let your thoughts go unchecked, because before your life falls apart on the outside, it's usually already unraveling on the inside. You don't just wake up one day feeling defeated. You've been losing the battle in your head long before the results showed up in your reality. Your destiny is too valuable to be driven by default thinking. You can't think small and live big. You can't think broken and walk in wholeness. You can't meditate on defeat and expect to see victory. The battlefield isn't your bank account, your relationships, or your career. It's your thought life. That's where every breakthrough starts, and that's also where every breakdown begins. If the enemy can trap you in your mind, he doesn't have to chain you in your circumstances. You'll do it to yourself. You'll sabotage your own joy, reject your own calling, and talk yourself out of opportunities before you even step into them all because your mind became a prison instead of a pathway. But you weren't created to live stuck in cycles of mental warfare. You were created to think on things above, things that bring life, not death, things that build, not break, things that move you forward, not keep you frozen. So don't underestimate the power of a single thought, because one thought, one belief can change the entire trajectory of your life. Absolutely. Here's a full, emotionally resonant and powerfully expanded version of key point 2 from Your mind is the battlefield written in the impactful, urgent, soul-gripping style you're looking for without a subtitle or conclusion You don't have to believe every thought you think. Just because a thought shows up in your mind doesn't mean it deserves to stay there. Some of us have been handing out free rent to toxic thoughts that are robbing us blind thoughts of shame, insecurity, failure, hopelessness, and they've been sitting at the table of our minds like they belong there. But the truth is, not every thought deserves a seat at your table. You wouldn't invite a stranger into your house and give them the master bedroom, hand them the keys, and let them control your schedule. Yet every day, we let unwanted thoughts walk right into the deepest places of our soul, sit down and start speaking over our future like they have authority. Thoughts like, "You're not good enough," "You'll never change," "What's the point in trying?" And instead of evicting them, we entertain them, we replay them, we let them marinate. We hand them the microphone and then wonder why we feel stuck. You have to realize your mind is sacred space. You can't allow just anything to live there. Thoughts are not just ideas, they are invitations. Every thought is inviting you somewhere, to faith or to fear, to confidence or to confusion, to freedom or to bondage. And the more you entertain the wrong ones, the more they start to build strongholds. Not just passing emotions, but actual, fortified belief systems that begin to shape your behavior and block your blessings. Some of the thoughts you're entertaining right now are not from God, and they're not from truth. They're intrusions from past trauma, from unhealed wounds, from things people spoke over you when you were vulnerable. And just because a thought is loud doesn't make it legit Just because it feels familiar doesn't mean it's factual. Some of those thoughts you've normalized were never meant to be part of your thinking in the first place. It's time to stop feeding what's been draining you. If the thought makes you feel small, afraid, unloved, hopeless, it's not from the source of life. It's from the liar who profits off your silence. And if you keep letting those thoughts linger, they'll begin to define you. But the minute you recognize you have a choice, that you're not powerless, that's when things start to change. You have the authority to say, "No, not today. That thought doesn't align with who I am. That lie has no place here. That shame is not my story. That fear is not my future." You have the right to stand up at the table of your own mind and say, "This seat is taken by purpose, by truth, by peace, by power." Because every time you agree with a lie, you give it permission, but when you reject the lie, you reclaim your ground. And the more you practice that, the more your mind becomes a sanctuary again, not a battlefield of torment, but a space where wisdom, clarity, and identity are free to speak, certainly. Here's the expanded version of key point 3 from Your mind is the battlefield written in an intense, heartfelt, spiritually deep style designed to stir reflection, ignite change, and confront internal dialogue without a subtitle or conclusion . There's a war going on inside your mind that most people will never see. And the truth is, the loudest voice in your life isn't the voice of your critics, your family, your past, or even your pain. It's your own. The words you speak to yourself in the silence, when no one else is around, are building the foundation of your reality. Your internal dialogue becomes your external destiny. You can be surrounded by people who believe in you, but if you don't believe in yourself, you'll still sabotage everything. Because your life doesn't rise to the level of what others say about you, it sinks or soars based on what you say to yourself over and over again. Most people don't realize how cruel they are to themselves. You'd never speak to your friend the way you speak to yourself. You wouldn't tell your child you're worthless or you'll never make it. You wouldn't tell someone you love you're a burden or you're too broken to be used. But you say it to yourself every single day in whispers, in sighs, in quiet agreements you didn't even realize you were making. And those words settle like concrete in your spirit, creating ceilings where God intended skies. Some of us are living beneath our calling, not because of outside limitations, but because of the inner narration that keeps playing on repeat. And here's the danger: when you hear something long enough, it doesn't even sound like a lie anymore, it just sounds like your voice. You stop questioning it, you stop fighting it, and eventually you start living by it, but your inner voice has power. It is either pulling you toward the person you were created to be, or it's pushing you deeper into a version of yourself that was shaped by fear, rejection, and insecurity. Every time you say, "I can't," "I'm not," or "I'll never," you are giving that thought permission to manifest. And over time, those tiny internal comments turn into actual decisions: the jobs you don't apply for, the relationships you don't pursue, the dreams you don't chase, the risks you don't take, all because your inner voice told you you don't have what it takes. But what if that voice is wrong? What if the issue isn't your life, your gift, your situation? What if the real battle is in how you see yourself? Because as long as your inner voice is echoing your past instead of your purpose, you'll always feel stuck. As long as your mind is echoing the voice of your wound instead of the voice of your worth, you'll keep running in circles. You must learn to speak to yourself like someone worth fighting for. You've got to start preaching to yourself when the pressure gets high. You've got to learn how to interrupt the lies with truth, declare hope when everything looks hopeless, and remind yourself who you are, even when the enemy is screaming who you're not. Because sometimes the only sermon you'll hear this week is the one you preach to yourself in the mirror. Don't let your internal monologue be controlled by shame, by fear, by defeat. Learn to speak life. Learn to speak identity. Learn to speak like someone who's already won the battle, even if you're still bleeding. Because the tongue may be small, but the words it speaks, especially inside your mind, are shaping your tomorrow right now. Certainly. Here's a powerful, full-length expansion of **, key point 4 **, from **. Your mind is the battlefield, **, written in a deeply passionate, faith-charged and battle-ready tone in line with the emotionally intense style you're seeking **, without a subtitle and without a conclusion **. There comes a moment in every mental battle when you have to decide, am I going to keep agreeing with the lie, or am I going to stand on the truth? Because the longer you agree with a lie, the more power you give it, the more space you make for it, and eventually it doesn't just visit, it takes residence. It builds walls in your thinking. It locks doors on your perspective. And before you know it, you're not living out of truth anymore, you're living out of fear, assumptions, distortions, and emotional illusions that feel real. But they're not real. Let me tell you this, the enemy is not always loud. Sometimes he's subtle. He doesn't have to shout. He just needs to suggest. He doesn't need a full assault if a whisper of doubt will do the job. He won't always come through disaster sometimes. He just comes through asterisk dialogue. Asterisk just a sentence. Just a thought, just a seed. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe that mistake really defines you. Maybe God is done with you. And instead of rejecting it immediately, we entertain it. We turn it over in our minds. We analyze it, and then, without even realizing it, we start living like it's the truth. But here's what you have to remember. Asterisk asterisk, every lie the enemy tells you must be challenged, or it will be cherished. Asterisk asterisk, you have to confront it the moment it shows up. You can't let it fester. You can't let it feel welcome. You can't hand it a blanket and say, stay a while. Because lies don't just asterisk sit asterisk in your mind, they spread. One lie multiplies into 10 beliefs. One fear grows into 1,000 limitations. You have to call it out. You have to say, that's not who I am, that's not my identity, that's not my future. You have to break agreement with the false narrative before it starts writing chapters in your story. Because the enemy is not just after your peace, he's after your purpose. He doesn't want your mind just discouraged, he wants it asterisk disqualified asterisk. If he can convince you that you're not worthy, you'll disqualify yourself from what God already appointed you for. That's why you have to asterisk cancel the contract asterisk with the lie. You have to learn how to speak out loud. I do not agree with that thought. I do not receive that label. I do not believe that accusation. You've got to stand in truth even when your emotions are screaming otherwise. You can feel afraid but speak bold. You can feel weak but declare strength. Because the battlefield is not about feeling, it's about asterisk agreement. Asterisk, there's power in what you align your mind with. The moment you agree with truth, the moment you align with your identity instead of your insecurity, asterisk, everything starts to shift. Asterisk, peace returns, clarity comes, power rises. The chains that once held you mentally begin to loosen, not because the storm stopped, but because your asterisk thinking changed. Asterisk, you're not thinking from your wounds anymore, you're thinking from your worth. You're not thinking like a victim, you're thinking like someone asterisk victorious. Asterisk, you don't win the battle by being passive. You don't overcome by hoping the thoughts just go away. You win when you take a stand. When you resist the lie with truth. When you choose not to come into agreement with the voice that's been trying to keep you small, afraid, and ashamed. You were never meant to bow to that voice. You were meant to rise and speak with authority. And sometimes that's the most spiritual thing you can do, asterisk, break agreement with the lie and step into the truth. Asterisk, even if you have to do it trembling, even if you have to do it in the dark, even if you have to do it again tomorrow. Absolutely. Here's a asterisk asterisk fully expanded version of key point 5 asterisk asterisk from asterisk. Your mind is the battlefield asterisk, written in the same passionate, raw faith, driven tone heavy with emotional weight, spiritual insight, and practical truth asterisk asterisk without a subtitle and without a conclusion asterisk asterisk. So many people are searching for peace. They think it's something external, a place, a relationship, a breakthrough, a number in the bank account. If I just get through this season, if they would just apologize, if the pressure would just ease up, then I'd feel peace. But real peace doesn't work like that. Because peace isn't found in the absence of problems. It's not found in the absence of noise. It's not found when the storm ends. Asterisk asterisk, peace is found in the middle of the storm, when your mind learns how to anchor itself in the truth of who you are and whose you are. Asterisk asterisk, it's not about how calm your surroundings are. It's about how trained your thoughts are. Because if your thoughts are undisciplined, even a quiet room will feel like a war zone. But if your thoughts are submitted, surrendered, shaped by truth, even the middle of a disaster can feel like holy ground. And that's the battle most people are missing. They're chasing peace outside, but losing the war inside. They're trying to fix everything around them, but haven't learned to guard the gate of their own thoughts. You can't fake peace. You can't pretend your way into it. You can't force people to give it to you. Peace is the fruit of mental discipline. It's what grows when you learn how to filter what you allow to enter and dwell in your mind. That means peace doesn't just happen, it's asterisk protected. Asterisk, it's asterisk fought for. Asterisk, you don't get peace by wishing you get it, by winning the war in your thought life, one decision at a time. Discipline in your mind looks like catching the thought before it catches you. It looks like noticing when your mind starts spiraling into fear and saying, "Wait, I'm not going there." It looks like being able to pause long enough to say, "Is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is this rooted in truth or in trauma? Am I reacting from the spirit or from my scars?" That kind of thinking isn't natural, it's trained, it's developed. It's a muscle that grows stronger every time you use it. And don't get it twisted, discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means you don't allow thoughts to run wild like they used to. It means you're not a slave to every mental mood swing. It means that instead of reacting impulsively, you respond intentionally. That's power, that's maturity, that's peace. Not because everything's going right, but because your mind isn't being pulled in 1,000 directions every second. Some of you are waiting for peace to magically appear when your situation changes. But maybe peace is something you were meant to create in the middle of your situation. Maybe it doesn't come after the battle. Maybe it's your weapon in the battle. Because when you start disciplining your thoughts, everything else starts aligning, your attitude shifts, your responses change, your relationships improve, you sleep better, you pray deeper, you hear clearer. And that's why the enemy tries so hard to disrupt your peace, because he knows once your mind is disciplined, once your thoughts are aligned, he's lost his foothold. He can't control someone who's trained their mind to live above the noise. He can't manipulate someone who doesn't flinch every time fear knocks. He can't confuse someone who's decided, "I will not let my mind become a playground for chaos. I'm guarding my thoughts like my future depends on it," because it does. Peace isn't fragile, it's fierce. It's not passive, it's powerful. It doesn't mean you feel calm all the time, it means you know where to go when the storm rises. It means that even when life is shaking, your mind is standing grounded, rooted, secure. Absolutely. Here's the fully expanded version of key point 6 from *. Your mind is the battlefield crafted with intense spiritual conviction, emotional fire, and clear-minded truth, echoing the raw, impactful style you're after without a subtitle and without a conclusion Most people want change in their lives, but few realize where that change must begin. It doesn't start with better circumstances, more money, or a new relationship. It starts in your mind and it must be renewed daily. You don't fix a lifetime of toxic thinking with a single motivational quote. You don't rewire deep mental patterns by listening to one message or having one breakthrough moment. Real transformation requires a daily decision to train your thoughts, renew your mind, and choose what stays and what goes. This isn't a one-time spiritual high. It's a mental discipline that must be repeated until it becomes reflex, because the enemy doesn't take days off, your doubts don't take holidays, your insecurities don't go on vacation. They will show up again tomorrow, and if you don't show up stronger, wiser, and more grounded, you'll keep falling into the same thought cycles that have held you hostage for years. You see, renewing your mind is like brushing your teeth. You don't do it once and expect lifetime freshness. It's like eating healthy. You don't eat one salad and expect to never crave junk again. It's not about having a perfect thought life. It's about building resilience in your thinking. It's about training your mind to respond from truth instead of trauma. It's about interrupting the spiral of fear with the anchor of faith, not once, but again and again. Some of us are waiting for a breakthrough when what we need is a routine. We keep praying for peace, but we never create the space to think differently. We ask for strength, but we don't reject the thoughts that make us weak. We want God to transform our lives, but we're not willing to manage the asterisk one place asterisk he gave us control over, asterisk our mind. Asterisk renewing your mind isn't glamorous. It's not always emotional, sometimes it's dry, sometimes it feels boring, but those daily choices to reject the lie, to replace it with truth, to repeat what's right even when it doesn't feel good asterisk, that's warfare. Asterisk, that's maturity. That's how you take ground in the invisible battle. You don't overcome anxiety by having one good day. You overcome anxiety by learning how to think differently even when anxiety shows up. You don't win against insecurity by hearing a sermon, you win by confronting that insecure thought when you're standing in front of the mirror and everything in you wants to shrink. That's the fight. That's the battlefield, and you've got to show up for it asterisk every single day. Asterisk, stop waiting for it to get easier. Stop waiting for your emotions to agree. Spiritual maturity is not when you stop having negative thoughts, it's when you stop asterisk obeying asterisk them. It's when you stop letting them run your day. It's when you hear them, but you don't believe them. You feel them, but you don't asterisk follow asterisk them. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. If you don't renew your mind daily, you will revert back to patterns that look like progress, but are actually disguised stagnation. You'll perform for others while privately battling insecurity. You'll smile in public while privately drowning in comparison. You'll talk faith but live in fear. Because without a renewed mind, your old mental defaults will always pull you back into smallness, shame, and survival mode. That's why you can't afford to skip the process. You can't wait for motivation. You can't depend on feelings. You've got to make up your mind asterisk literally. Asterisk, you've got to choose. Today, I take responsibility for what lives in my mind. Today, I replace what's been holding me down with what lifts me up. Today, I break the agreement with mental clutter and make room for clarity, power, and peace. This isn't a one and done kind of battle. It's a asterisk daily decision. Asterisk, but if you'll keep showing up, if you'll keep renewing, if you'll keep fighting, what once felt like mental warfare will turn into mental asterisk victory. Asterisk, not all at once, but with time, with discipline, and with truth asterisk every single day. Asterisk, absolutely. Here is the asterisk fully expanded version of key point 7 asterisk from asterisk. Your mind is the battlefield asterisk, written with raw emotional depth, spiritual fire, and deep truth packed in the passionate, soul-awakening tone. You're seeking asterisk without a subtitle and without a conclusion asterisk. Most people are chasing public validation while secretly losing the war in private. They show up with a smile, dressed for success, appearing confident and composed. But behind the scenes, they're exhausted, anxious, and overwhelmed not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they've been fighting invisible battles in their minds that nobody else can see. That's why the most important victories you'll ever win won't happen on a stage, in front of a camera, or under bright lights. Asterisk, they happen in the silence. They happen in private. They happen when no one is clapping. Asterisk, the real war is not on the outside, it's inside. It's in the moments when you wake up and immediately feel the weight of shame from something you did years ago. It's when a single comment someone made 6 months ago keeps echoing in your mind like a broken record. It's when you're standing in front of a door God opened, but your mind is paralyzed with doubt, fear, and unworthiness. That's where the real fight is. Not in how things look, but in what you believe when no one else is around. See, what people see publicly is a reflection of what you fought through privately. You can fake a lot of things, charisma, confidence, even spirituality, but you cannot fake peace. You can't pretend to be grounded when your thoughts are spinning out of control. You can't manufacture strength if your mind is flooded with fear and failure. The people around you might not see it right away, but eventually your private battlefield will bleed into your public life. The greatest breakthroughs in your life won't come from applause, they'll come from silence. They'll come from that moment when you're curled up in a room, tears in your eyes, tired of pretending, and you finally say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not living by this lie. I'm not letting this fear tell me who I am. I've been handed the same script by the enemy for years, and today I'm tearing it up. That's a asterisk private victory asterisk, and it changes everything. You've got to stop thinking your value is proven in public. It's asterisk formed asterisk in private. That's where you wrestle with insecurity, and instead of running, you face it head on. That's where you confront the fear that's been whispering in your ear every time you try to rise. That's where you learn how to sit with your weakness, not as a victim, but as a warrior in training. The real victory happens when you choose to speak truth over yourself, even when your circumstances are screaming the opposite. Some of you are frustrated because you're not being recognized, but God is developing you privately, because if He promoted you too soon, the pressure would crush you. The platform you're waiting for can't sustain the weight of your destiny if your mind isn't strong enough to hold it. So He's letting you fight in private, not to punish you but to asterisk prepare asterisk you. There are things being built in you right now in silence, in solitude, in secret battles that are shaping the foundation for what you're about to carry, and you may feel like no one sees you, but that's exactly where the power is. Because when you win asterisk, there asterisk, when you win in the place where it's just you, your thoughts, and your God, then the enemy has nothing left to use against you. The voices lose their volume, the lies lose their weight. The fear loses its grip. You don't need to prove yourself to people when you've already won the battle within. Your identity isn't based on applause, it's based on alignment with the truth. Your strength isn't measured by who believes in you, it's measured by how you stood firm in the dark. When you start winning in private, the public victories will come, but they won't be the goal anymore. They'll just be evidence of a life built in secret, on discipline, faith, and mental victory.